This is the Equid E-Commerce Show with your host, Jesse Ness, along with Richard O'Tay.
All right, Richie, we're in studio today. No mask.
Yeah,
we're back.
We're back.
Yeah,
the world's back. It's opening up.
Yeah.
When California's opening back up, it's opening back up. So
yeah, you know we're safe if California's open. so yeah, it's good. So we're back, and we actually have a frequent regular contributor back on as well. So friend of the pod, Ricardo Lassa from Clickin. Ricardo, how are you?
Good. Hey, Jesse or Richie, good to see you guys.
Yeah.
And good to see everybody without masks and together. It's great.
Yeah. It's good to be back. Like we said, we've had you on the pod several times now. Previously, we've usually been talking about Google Shopping. So you guys have our automated Google Shopping that you run from inside the Equid control panel. Now today I'm sure we'll mention Google a couple times, but we're going to kind of talk a little bit beyond Google. Ricardo, I know a lot of what you've been up to. Can you give our audience a little story on what you guys have been up to with Clickin?
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, you're completely right. When we think about a store owner and what they need to do, and it's like becoming more so a slew of different platforms, right? It's not just Google Shopping, and it's not even just Google, because it's also even just the Google realm, right? You have Google Shopping and Google Ads and Google Campaigns and Google My Business, and more and more functionality is being developed. I mean, you could throw in YouTube in there, right? And then Facebook, right? But Facebook is not just Facebook, right? It's also Facebook Shop and Facebook Ads and Facebook Dynamic Ads and so forth. And then you're really starting about what are the other big up and coming platforms like Pinterest and Pinterest and everything else. So what we've been up to is actually building a all-in-one solution that actually allows the end customers to put their inventory up on and manage it effectively, basically on all the major platforms. So Google, Facebook, we're actually working on Pinterest right now, and so forth. And the way we're looking at the overall future of e-commerce marketing is a combination of multiple platforms on top of obviously your obvious email campaigns and everything else, but we're actually seeing a big layer of AI being built on top of everything as well, to be able to effectively have personalized recommendations and personalized bundles and personalized clearance campaigns and things of that nature. So maybe it was a really broad answer, but the way we're looking at it is it's an overall one platform that actually is able to have insights from all the different platforms and actually help customers effectively, both advertise and do organic acquisition of customers from all the major, marketing or media partner venues. So one of the things we've been working with you guys, Equid and the Equid team, has been on launching a Facebook ads side of things. So that's already live, and we're really excited to bring that into the equation as well. But yeah, hopefully that answered your question. They ramble too much.
Yeah, you've been up to a lot. Then that was a broad open question there for you. So yeah, and we're gonna dive into a lot of those things. Maybe starting with Facebook. So the difference being, actually, maybe the similarity is from Google Shopping is it's still a product feed, right? So are the Facebook ads driven by the product feed?
Correct. Yeah, and actually that's a great question, because also with this complexity of life in general today, the other theme in general is complexity, right? So when you think about Facebook ads, a lot of people think about Facebook ads. I mean, there's many different types of Facebook ads. So just to be very explicit, the one thing we're doing is Facebook dynamic listing ads, which are is kind of very similar to Google Shopping in that regards. They're a feed-based approach to ads, with the ability for end customers to see exactly the product that they put on the shopping cart or they abandoned and so forth, and then when they see the ads, takes them back to purchase. So it's a very very effective way to bring customers back to the store and complete purchases when they abandon them. and also like a very powerful way to really show your catalog and your inventory on the Facebook platform.
Yep. So now, Ricardo, why use Clickin when somebody can just connect with Facebook, connect with Google Shopping? What extra do you bring to the equation, right?
Sure. So that's a great question, and actually more so today, because there are so many like Google Shopping, let's say, like kind of light integrations coming to market where, they say, hey, put your inventory on Google Shopping and that's it, right? So I could probably spend 3 podcasts going over this, but anyway, there are many reasons for our existence and our value prop. One is just the onboarding, just getting there, getting the feeds approved, getting the products figured out, because there's lots of different rules. For example, if you're selling apparel versus if you're selling auto parts and other things. And so our platform, when you're trying to go on Google Shopping or Facebook, right, takes a look at the inventory and says, yeah, no, this won't work. You need to change this or you need to change that, and so forth. And then on top of all that, the way we generate the feeds is our own platform that generates the feeds. But on top of all that, we do all the account creation, all the account claiming, everything else. And then we do all the ongoing maintenance as well. So these feeds are not one-time shots. They're all, daily changes. And then finally, the kind of like overall theme as well is this. The way our platform is set up is very effective to run different types of campaigns versus all-in-one campaigns, right? So most of the really light platforms, or if you were going to do it yourself, you're going to run one campaign. You're just going to say, hey, look, I'm going to put all my products on it and hope it works. Because we are automated, we actually can do that much, much better. We can say, hey, we're going to take this type of products and put it in this campaign with this budget, and these other products with this other budget, this other campaign. And actually, we're going to run some Google regular search ads on top of Google Shopping ads. And for example, with Facebook, it's another great example, right? Where you go, now you drive traffic from shopping from Google, that drives really high quality traffic, and then you can retarget on Facebook and get kind of the best of both worlds together. So probably in a very clear nutshell, we provide a lot of optimization, a lot of automated onboarding, and then all-in-one platform to be able to look at everything holistically, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. On the Facebook, or you mentioned the grouping or the automatic campaign creation, right? So I've played with some Google Shopping and Facebook ads. Is there like a general best practice where you would group, say, products of a similar type or a similar price point, or like how do you hack the system a little bit? Because with Google Shopping, they kind of want you to just throw all your products in one thing, and good luck, right? Same with Facebook. How do you guys get around that, or how do you, I know you can't break down the whole algorithm you use in a minute, but yeah, what do you?
No, you're completely right. No. So yeah, we use multiple algorithms. So actually, I'm part of the other piece we're actually bringing to market right now. It's already in beta. It's called Store AI, and that's exactly what you're talking about, right? So instead of taking a look at your inventory as like an all or nothing, these are all of my available products, right? It actually takes a look and says, okay, these are the products that are selling really well. These are the products that actually are getting a lot of traction, but are not selling altogether. So they put it in a shopping cart. On the other hand, it's like, hey, there are all these products that don't even see the light of day, don't ever even get traffic. Right? We call it dark side of the moon products. So then our platform allows you on one click to say, all right, put all these products into a campaign, and that's only dark side of the moon products, right? Like, or put only my top sellers into a campaign, and then also that is dynamic and changes in real time. So as the let's say a product suddenly becomes really hot and starts selling, we actually figure it out and we say, hey, let's put it on the top seller campaigns and things like that. So there's a lot. This actually is a truly fascinating topic that probably one point should be a podcast of its own. There is going to be a lot more AI driving decisions based not only on volumes like we're discussing right now, but also on margins that we were talking about, or even the bundling of products. When you think about, you're bundling, like you're selling sneakers or something like that, and then you could bundle them with like shoelaces or things that do make sense. AI platforms are going to start saying, hey, if you have this type of campaign, bundle them together. And even more so, end up in the checkout process recommending, saying, hey, you clicked on this also makes sense. And then hopefully even later on, be able to drive cross-pollination of old school merchandising strategies. So when you think about, the problem with e-commerce is that it's new. Even though for us, we've been at this for a long time, and we probably are thinking, all of us, how can you say it's new? But when you think about merchandising for e-commerce, it's actually fairly new. But if you look at merchandising old school, like what you would get in an MBA, right? Talk about clearance sales and all this other stuff. And I think there's going to be a ton of AI driving clearance sales, personalized clearance sales on e-commerce only, that then get driven by ads or get driven by email campaigns and so forth. So it is probably the next major step up, if you think about it.
It's interesting you bring up, especially that Dark Side of the Moon product, when you were talking about old school marketing. Well, you didn't say old school marketing then, you said it after, but I ran a retail grocery store for about 10 years early on. It was my first in commerce, in the world of commerce. And that was one of the never ending questions. When you had the products that were at eye level, did you put, I'm just going to use like the Coke and the Pepsis there, right? Did you put the known brands there? Or did you put the brands that weren't selling as good so they might sell better because they would look for the known brands, right? It was the never ending. And then this is prior to the brands paying to be on the end caps and all this other stuff, but that's a whole nother story.
Correct.
This Dark Side of the Moon is really cool because that's like a internet e-commerce modern day version of, hey, I don't know if it's because we didn't create content right for this, or I don't know what we didn't do right. It's just not getting traction. Let's try to get this in front of other people and see if what we thought they would like, they actually do. So that one's really interesting to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've seen, so on that note too, I've had campaigns running where, there's products that just don't do well. And because the Google algorithm or the Facebook algorithm is looking at the top couple products and saying, I'm just going to send all my traffic there because that's my best return on ad spend or whatever other, the metric that probably feeds their bottom line the best. But if you were to break those out and put them in their own campaign and, do it dynamically, I can see how there's an advantage there. I can also see how not everybody's going to do that on their own. Like, that's, you're not going to.
No doubt. And that's the point. Thank you for bringing it full circle for me there. I didn't close the loop on it. The fact that you do that with automation is the part that I like a lot.
Sure. And also remember, it changes all the time. So the problem is, first, you have to be an analyst. I like doing that, which many store owners probably are not. You have to be a little bit of a numbers geek like we are here at Clickin. But how often can you do this analysis? Right? Like you're gonna do it every day. Like you cannot do it like even probably like every week. It's maybe once a month. So as your dynamically your inventory is moving, you need to have a platform that actually can do this in real time. It's really interesting. Yep. Yes. Actually, just a side note on that one. Really small. This whole concept has been tried quite a bit on auto dealers for secondhand cars. And actually, it's a really interesting merchandising technique because it's a little bit what you were saying, Richie, and then you, Jesse, as well. Like let's say Toyota Corollas, they sell really easily. So you buy one and you sell it, right? The problem is whatever car that you're buying that takes quite a bit to sell. So the new merchandising technology that they're doing with dealers is advertising only the cars that don't move easily, knowing that the Toyotas are going to move, the Hondas are going to move. So let's move the inventory that doesn't rotate, and the ROIs that they're seeing are truly spectacular. They're actually moving the inventory much faster than they did in the past.
Very cool. I mean, so Ricardo, you're able to pull from a lot of different areas. It sounds like the AI for the merchandising, maybe there's some skunkworks projects that you have in the works over there. Maybe we can talk more about the store AI product that you have.
Sure.
I guess I won't make up the words. I'll let you describe it for us.
Sure. It has like just a couple major pieces. So one, it includes everything that we had before. So like if you need to go on Google Shopping and you've never been on Google Shopping, we help you create your accounts and get everything up and running, get your inventory up and running. If you've never been on Google Shopping campaigns, you've never run a Google Shopping campaigns, the same thing. We allow you to easily go on a campaign. What's new about it is this though. There's now types of campaigns like we're discussing. So now you say, okay, I'm going to spend X amount of budget on my top sellers. We're going to spend X amount of money on inventory that doesn't see a lot of traffic. So now you're actually splitting your budgets and your campaigns with a specific direction, like helping you see how you maximize your merchandising. On top of that, we actually have as well a lot of the statistics that we also have with you guys on Ecwid, like, you know, those really unique statistics we have because we actually know the website traffic and iterations there. So we know how long it takes for products to sell and, you know, what's your average, time to purchase and time to shopping cart and things of that nature. So that's kind of unique. And then finally, we also do a true funnel analysis. Like, so from all your products, how many get put on shopping carts and then how many get actually purchased. And then we have stats around that. So not just the overall numbers, but how long it takes, how many are on average, things of that nature. So it's a broad, our foundation right now is a broad, be able to understand how your store is performing, be able to get organically on many of these platforms, and then also to be able to run ads all in one spot.
Got it. That's a mouthful. So now how do you break that down into a marketing tagline? Like what is your, is that automated marketing for e-commerce? Like, is that, how do you,
Sure.
Yeah.
Smart marketing.
Smart marketing. Okay. All right. I like it.
Yeah.
Now the different, I guess, categories or campaigns you mentioned, is that all done in the back end, like the background automatically, or does the merchant say, hey, hey, Click, and I have these products that aren't moving. Can we do something about it? Like, how does it happen?
Yeah, we call them one-click campaigns.
Okay.
So what it is, we identify the segment. Then the customer says, okay, I want to advertise it. So we show them exactly the products and how it will look like. Then they pick how much they want to spend per month and just go. So it on top of everything, we actually cut down 2 steps from building a campaign. Now it's just literally one page. Select. It's not even.
It sounds like you're approving it. It sounds like
you're approving. That's exactly what I was going to say. You're just approving it. You're just giving it adult supervision. You're saying, "Yep, I like this. Makes sense." Click on it. Then how much I want to spend, and it goes.
I think I should watch out for my job security here.
No,
because
how long
before they replace the SaaS marketers? But yeah, I love it, even though I'm scared for my own job. But okay, interesting. And now, do our merchants choosing a set amount? Like, hey, I want to spend $500 a month, and then over time, seeing what the return on ad spend is, and maybe you want to spend more or less, like, it sounds more like you're just picking a number that you want to spend and then letting you take care of it.
Sure. And then what we do is we do provide guidance as well. Like once we get enough data to say, hey, look, if you were going to spend X amount more money, you will make X amount of money. And then you can decide for yourself, like, does that make sense or not? We're also working quite a bit on that as well. Like trying to think about it this way. We all know we have a absolutely pretty stringent, somewhat inflexible budget, right? I mean, we wish like all to say, yeah, it's unlimited because you do so well. But realistically, yeah, they grow over time. But today, as you are deciding, you're saying, okay, well, I have $500 a month. So what we're trying to say is how you should be spending the 500, because it's not equal. It's not like just saying, go and unleash it. Like you should be spending X amount on this type of platform, X amount on this type of platform. And together, that's where you're going to maximize the ROI. So it's almost like a meta optimization. It's like a budget, overall budget optimization that we're looking at.
Yeah, that's great, because I will tell you, most people don't. I personally would love to have that number at Ecwid, but as I'm advertising, I have a certain idea of what I want to spend on Google, a certain idea what I'm spending on Facebook, Pinterest, etc. Right. But I don't really know, other than experimentation, if spending more on Google and pulling back on Facebook will, yield more signups. Right.
Sure.
And sounds like you guys are starting to dial that in where,
Sure.
yes, we know, and the number's not 1/3 here, 2/3 there. It's depends on the store, and depends on, we've tried these various different campaigns, and it's sounds like it's a dynamic scoring or a dynamic recommendation. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, and actually, you might want to think about it sometimes almost a little bit like either a predictive recommendation or a simulation. Because the way you could think about it is like you could simulate saying, okay, if we simulate this basket, how would it look like? And that is something that actually the co-founder of Clicken, Don Berndt, which I think you might have met multiple times in conferences, things like that. That's his core research. He's a professor, and all the latest kind of intellectual development he's been working on is financial simulations to try to come up with complex models like this. So it's something that's going to be really cool in the future.
And you have a really good test bed, because you can give the recommendation to the merchant. Hey, if you spend $150 more per month, let us optimize it. Here's your expected return. And then if they click yes or approve, you get a live test and you can test the results and refine over time. So
exactly.
Yeah. I love it from the nerdy statistical
Sure.
predictive and analytics side. So yeah. Okay. All right. Well, what else do you have in the what else do you have in the works? I know you guys are always working on so much stuff here. I know,
Yep.
What else do we have?
Yeah, so I think that probably the other thing that we brought to market, same thing, we're actually beta testing it, and we're bringing into Ecwid is Google My Business. And, it kind of sounds like very, almost what you think e-commerce is, why Google My Business? But again, it goes back to the discussion that we had a little bit before, where like all these platforms are not islands anymore. They're all together, and it's important for the end customers and the store owners to have a Google My Business presence. Actually, it's funny, if you rewind probably like 2 or 3 years ago, Google My Business was mostly for local. Like you actually had to have a physical address. Yeah. And now Google My Business, it also allows non-physical locations for e-commerce, because people want to get a good gauge of, is this a good business, and what the reviews look like. So we actually be working on a Google My Business platform. It actually allows you to onboard to Google My Business or link your account. But again, once you link everything, we know also how everything interacts, right? So if you're running search campaigns, we actually use the location extensions from the Google My Business to actually showing the ads, so it performs better. So it kind of all ties together, and it's something that, especially as we go in e-commerce with Google My Business, kind of a new frontier, because again, most people think about Google My Business as a local thing, like you're going to go, to the local store down the road. But something that it also allows you to do is allows you to set up promotions to your customers and easily syndicate them. So then you can actually have another platform. If you think about it, a marketing platform where you can actually say, hey, my offer for this month is this, and then they click through and they go back into the store, and it all ties together. You gather reviews and everything else. So, we're looking at marketing a very holistic way like that.
Yeah. So the Google My Business, that's an interesting one, because I think of it as local businesses. So, but I get it's very important for the reviews, and it's owned by Google. So like, if you want to play well with Google, you have to play with their toys, right? So, yeah. So is that kind of connected to your Google Shopping product, where people are, kind of optimizing their listings? Do merchants enter all this information from the Click Inside? Do you log into the Google My Business? How does that work?
So just to clarify, the reviews on products actually come directly from the Google Merchant Center piece of it. So Google has 2 types of reviews. One is for products, and then one is for you as a business. The you as a business is Google My Business, and the one for products is from the Merchant Center. The way you can onboard is either or. So if you are on the platform and you never set up Google My Business, we can onboard you completely. And if you already had set it up, you can just link it, and then everything works. Because obviously some customers, or many customers, have already set up a profile. What they don't have is the linkage of a profile to the rest of the platform, like the rest of the Google accounts and everything else, and being able to also do promotions and things of that nature. But yeah, they're both the onboarding. We can onboard or just link.
Okay. All right. So Ricardo, for people listening, they're like, hey, this sounds great to me. Like, how much is it? What's your pricing model?
So the good news is this: if you already are on Ecwid and you already are using us, it's free. So you can run Google My Business for free. You can run Facebook ads for free as well, as long as we already have an automation fee. So basically, it's an all-inclusive platform. If you have never run anything with us, we charge just $10 a month to get on board, and then anyway, between 20 to 100 depends on how much marketing you're running and how many platforms you're using, things of that nature. But it is an incredibly inexpensive platform for everything that we do. So when you think about being able to put all your inventory on Google Shopping, plus run campaigns, plus run Facebook campaigns, plus get Google My Business all integrated, plus stats, plus everything for like $10 is like the price of a beer, basically. And it saves you probably like years of your life of not having to think about this all day long.
Yeah, a ton of frustration in dealing with all the different platforms. So yeah, $10, and then later on 20 or more if you do a bunch of advertising. But yeah, if you've ever, for anyone listening, if you've talked to agencies, no offense to agencies, it's a lot more than that. I can
a lot more.
A lot.
Every single time I want to say, I can't believe it, but I know the listeners are like, shut up, Richie. Don't tell them to raise the price. The onboarding piece alone, the fact that that's getting thrown in, it seemed like the year's cost of the $10 a month is covered in the first month, just onboarding.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, we think about the fact
I swear
that
I don't work for Ricardo either, people. He knows. I know we like what they're doing for Ecwid users, so we have him back on, but Jesse's here. He wasn't able to slide any money over there.
Yeah, exactly. I can kick you under the. I can be like, no, don't say that. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's amazing. It's just like literally, Ricardo. Every time we listen to podcasts, I always try to think like, oh yeah, I would implement that right now. This one is like a combination of seems no brainer / am I missing something, or is this like it's, you got to be just making up in volume. That's got to be, /
Sure.
Google loves you and gives you some love back or something because you help them. Or I don't know, but in general, it's like, it's an amazing deal and people should take advantage of it, is the bottom line, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no. I mean, the way we look at it, we really philosophically truly believe in this. And that's why also I know that Ecwid as a company has a very similar philosophy. And that's why we work together so well. The way we look at it is this. If you don't charge anything, there is no way that you're going to be able to build a business that helps you innovate and do everything that need, because this is not easy. I mean, we've been at this for a long time. I mean, we have tons of really smart people working in this company to actually make this piece work, right? But if you charge too much, then the small business owners, like, you're not helping them. And I really believe that one of the main missions that we had when we built this company, and I can see it right behind you guys, with small business, right, is to help the Fortune 1 million, right? The small companies that really make a difference for the fabric of society in almost every country in the world. So we had to find what is a good gauge between getting paid enough to have a fair, awesome platform, and not either not charging too much where with a lot of people cannot afford it, or just they never get to try it because it's so expensive, even though it might work great. So it's a fine balance. It's a difficult thing. We think about it all the time. What you give for free, what you not give for free, how you get in. But at the end of the game, I get this question all the time. Actually, it's kind of what Jesse said, right? Pretty much everything that we can do, you can do for free, right? So the question is this: why did you go to a restaurant on Friday night? I mean, you could cook in your home, right? Like so, nice quality. Same thing. It's like $10, $20 saves you hours upon hours of problems, and that's a better job by far that you could do by hand ever, because computers are just better than humans generally at all this stuff. So we try, like, I'm glad you're saying that, Richie, because to be honest with you, that's exactly what we try to do, is the value prop that people go and say, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it is.
Like, you know,
And I'll reiterate one more time, the fact that you do the onboarding shows you believe in your value, because with that pricing model too, what you're saying is, hey, we'll make a little overtime, but we're willing to do this because we believe that you will make money. And if you make money and it's only $10, or like you said, I'm sure there's ways they can work deeper, but even if it's 20, 100, if you're doing all those things, then if you do it in that order, I'll tie these two stories together. If you do it in that order, now you can make the extra money to go do the dinner. But if you did the dinner first, you might have spent your money that you could have spent on clicking. There you go.
exactly.
Wrapping it all together.
Boom.
Richie.
Yeah. Time to call the show.
Yeah.
That was a good way to, like, everything fits.
Mic drop. We'll just cut it right there.
You guys
So,
can finish.
Yeah. Oh, now we can finish. All right. So, all right, Ricardo, what did we not talk about here? You know, we got, I think previously we talked about Google Shopping. That's a no-brainer. And actually we didn't really mention that your pricing model has changed. It's less, you know, like $10 is way less than it used to be. So
Sure. Yeah.
you know, I don't want to just blow past that. Like it's significantly less. Gets you going on Google Shopping, gets you going on Facebook ads. And yes, you have to spend money on ads, but that goes to Facebook and Google, you know,
Sure.
and why just pay them directly and just, like, unless you're an expert at it, which not that many people are, you know, here's a whole platform that arranges it, does the AI for different campaigns. You know, sounds fantastic. And then the extras of the Google My Business, a ton of value here. And so, you know, that's why we always bring you back, Ricardo, is there's a ton of value for merchants. That's why we do the podcast. We like to help people, like to help them be successful with Ecwid. Obviously it's the Ecwid e-commerce show, but you know, you don't just open up a store and things just happen. You have to do the right things. And this is one of those right things that you should be doing. So,
Okay.
yeah. Well, anyway, Ricardo, what did we not ask you? What's the missing piece there?
I don't know, not much. I mean, I think I'm really excited to always help. I love the partnership we have with Ecwid, and, you know, how we closely collaborate to bring some of these things to market and make them all kind of work together. No, the only thing I would say is, like I was saying, like, I really think there's going to be a huge amount of AI coming. And you know, hopefully we'll be at the forefront of that. That was our core as a company, actually, when we started. But I really believe that, you know, the complexities, sometimes it really blows my mind. Actually, as I am thinking about our own business and the customer journey for them to be successful, and it's becoming more and more and more difficult. It's not easier and easier. It's actually, like, when you think about having to go on all these platforms, having all your inventory feeds, all of them talking together, you know, it's a complex thing. So it cannot be solved by humans. It has to be solved by some good level of AI, and it's going to be interesting. And merchandising is the other thing that. So this year we've onboarded, you know, tens of thousands of people to Google Shopping, and you know, so we have a lot of experience there. And what I mean, like, people that actually were not able to onboard. So that's the other thing. Like, you know, it's not like, you know, you're guaranteed to be able to onboard, and things of that nature. So we learned a lot of, like, you know, about the true problems that customers do have, and many of them can be either solved by AI or at least by providing almost an expert system, saying, hey, look, if you're doing apparel, you really have to think about this and that, or this is not going to go live. Or if your store doesn't have X, Y, and Z, it's not going to go live. So this is what you need to do. But yeah, I don't think we've missed a lot. I always love chatting with you guys. Hope we have another one and we can talk about some of the new products that we're bringing to market in, you know, later in the year.
Maybe it'll be the Jesse and Rich AI talking to the Ricardo AI. Yeah. We just replace us as podcast.
I think that's fair. Look, as long as we get our salaries and things like that, the AI probably will do a better job. It's probably better looking than us anyway.
So all in one show, you lost your your marketing job and,
Yeah.
and now your podcasting job, all to AI.
And the thought that I'll still make that money, I think, is a little bit of a fantasy. I think,
Well, the machine is not going to take it.
yeah. I don't think I'll be able to sit back and just make the money, but maybe let's think positively. So
Exactly.
all right. Well, Ricardo, awesome talking to you again. For people out there listening, where Clickin is in several places in the platform right now. Ricardo, you can go through the App Store. It's built in through Google Shopping. Where else can they?
Yeah, we're in the marketing tab. We're in the channel sales channels tab under Google Shopping, and we're also under stats.
Okay.
Right now. Yeah.
So it'd be pretty hard to miss you if you're looking to advertise with your Ecwid store. There's several options to get into Clickin, and it all kind of leads to that same AI that we're talking about. So get out there, everybody. Check it out. You know what to do. Make it happen. Bye, Ricardo.
Bye.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Jesse and Rich. We want to let you know we really appreciate you listening.
We hope you find the tips we give you helpful for growing your business.
You can find all of our past episodes and a lot more useful stuff at ecwid.com/podcast.
And also, check us out on your favorite podcasting platform like Apple Podcast or Stitcher, and make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing.
Be sure to let us know what you think by rating and reviewing so we can serve you better.
So subscribe on your favorite platform.
And come join our community, check out the transcripts, or tell us why you would be a great guest at ecwid.com/podcast.